everyone. I wonder what will you do in your Sunday afternoon?
Sleep.
Yeah.
Watch anime.
To me, I would say I go to an art class for 2 hours in order to enhance my sketching skills. To learn more about art, I do the research and come up with this presentation. In the following time, I will introduce the history of art in the order of prehistoric art, ancient art, medieval art, Renaissance art, Baroque art, Rococo art, Neoclassicism, and Romanticism. And now, let's start. The first piece of visual art is 40,000 years ago, even before the existence of written language. So if we want to know who we are as a society today, we should look back. The first piece of art is prehistoric art, before 3000 BC. Before the development of written language, human was using cave paintings and rock engraving as a way to share information between themselves and other tribes. Since human survival was the only priority at that time, their art form reflected that. We could see that depicting sticks and animal figures are often seen in the scenes of the hunt. So let's make a guess of which kinds of artworks will be appeared in that period. Is a picture on the left, the picture in the middle, or the picture on the right?
Middle.
Middle one?
Right.
Right. Right. Left. Okay. So actually part of you are right. It's a picture on the right. The statue's name is the Venus of Willendorf. You can make a guess of how big or how small she was.
This big? Very small.
Very small. Okay. So actually, please raise your hand and make this gesture. The distance between your thumb and your pinky finger is the exactly height of this statue, which is only 11.1 centimeters high. The sculptor was a nude woman with exaggerated features of fertility. So the evidence we have found in this period shows about human behavior was purely survival. And the discovery of artwork indicate one thing, that prehistoric art might be the beginning to all art movements. And here comes the second part, the ancient art. Between 3000 BC to 400 years, the civilization throughout Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, Persia, China, and Rome started to create the first naturalistic human images. Art in that period played a significant role in enforcing religious, political ideologies. Mythological stories and texts to tell the stories of the rulers are the main point of the art form at that period. I believe you may have heard this artwork before. It was the Code of Hammurabi, carved with images and laws of the King Hammurabi and the god Shamash. This stone collecting 282 rules and to set the standards of commercial interaction, and to reach the requirements of justice, the stones establish fines and punishment for the citizens. And here comes the third part. It was the medieval art. Between 500 years to 14,000 years, the medieval art is between the end of the Roman Empire and the beginning of the Renaissance. During this period, as church was gaining more power and the religious tend to believe in one God, the art form becomes single. And at that time, in order to attract more people to church, the artists in medieval art period using gold and jewels on their artworks. As an example, the crucifixion has all the traits I mentioned above. And here comes the Renaissance art. The Renaissance art happened between 14,000 to 16,000. And the word Renaissance comes from the Italian word Rinascimento, which means rebirth. And at that time, artists looked into ancient Greece and ancient Rome for inspiration in classical art. For example, like portrait paintings, symmetrical architecture, and anatomically correct sculptures. What's more, at that time, with the invention of printing press, it helps to spread the creation even farther. As it was easier for making books, the literacy rates in Europe were higher than ever, and so people were more appreciative to this cultural explosion. And here comes the Baroque art. Between 16,000 to 1730s, the Baroque art emphasized extravagance and emotion. As an example, the artwork The Calling of St. Matthew from Caravaggio has created an intense atmosphere through his accurate treatment of light and shadow. And another sculptor, Gian Lorenzo Bernini, creates the new form for future artists through his skillful manipulating in marble to intricate drapery. Architects through Europe took to his art movement to embellish their designs from magnificent carvings, adding in columns and dome-like ceiling to their structure. And now here comes the Rococo art. Rococo art is between 17,000 to 1770s. The term Rococo in French word means a method of decorating furniture with pebbles and seashells. The decorative style has fluid, asymmetrical forms, elaborate ornamentation, light pastel colors, and whimsical narratives. Seems hard to understand, right? Yeah. So let's see the difference, Rococo art and Baroque art. These two pictures are Rococo art and Baroque art. You can make a guess of which is Rococo and which is Baroque. Which one? Rococo, and that one is Baroque.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Though both Rococo and Baroque had been recognized by their opulent decoration and pleasing visuals, Rococo art has a more comfortable soft atmosphere, while Baroque played and more dramatic and powerful. Here comes the Neoclassicism. Neoclassicism art is between 1770s to 1840s. During this time, people have a renewed interest in simplicity and principles and subject matter of art from ancient Rome and Greece. Neoclassicism is a revival of many styles and spirit to classic antiquity, from which is inspired by the classical period. The discovery of Pompeii and Herculaneum were create a renewed interest for neoclassic artists to look back. And the last one will be the Romanticism. Romanticism happened between 18,000 to 1850s. During this time, though the Romantic artists value the individuality in neoclassic artworks, they looked into and found inspiration in their own imagination and nature around them. This art movement predominantly looked into the spiritual side of humanity and the exploration of essence of nature world, the freedom and the expression. So after I have mentioned so many art forms, which kind of art form is your favorite? Rococo.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you?
Romanticism.
Romanticism. Okay. So in my own opinion, I love the Rococo art most. Yes, because it is comfortable and pleasing and warm to me. And another reason is because this is the first term of art form I have remembered in my childhood. I wonder if you've ever seen this picture before.
Yeah.
In the Frozen, in the movie Frozen, when Anna was singing, "Do you want to build a snowman?" she jumped from the couch and made this position. So that made me remember this art form, and that's the reason why I love Rococo so much. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.